Okay. Well, it is so good to see you all and welcome. Um, this is our last Skills Lab for the calendar year. I will be sharing with you all towards the end of our session today, kind of what we have in store for next calendar year. But I do want to mark this special occasion that we are rounding out this series today for this semester, and just really, really excited to have you all here. My name is Nick Starr, and I am part of the Adobe Education team. And as we have known throughout this whole series, this is all about sharing practical strategies and real world examples that you can bring back to your setting, whether that's in a classroom or campus or community right away. Each session is designed to be short, actionable, and inspiring. So thank you so much for taking time to invest in your own learning. Before we get started, just some quick notes. As always, today's session is being recorded, and so you can find this session as well as others on our Skills Labs page, as well as our YouTube channel. I'm going to drop all of that into the chat. And also a big plug for our newsletter. If you have not signed up yet, please do so. In the chat, please share with me if you have signed up for our newsletter. Would love to see who's already getting the latest and the greatest with our newsletter. Right, so, and if not, you can sign up really quickly and then put in the chat that you just signed up. So with that, I'm really excited to introduce my colleague. Yay, Lee, you just signed up. Perfect. Love that. Excited to introduce my colleague, Dr. Nathan Araya, who's also a customer success manager on the Adobe Education team, and he will be leading today's session. And this session is all about empowering faculty with Adobe Express and micro-credentials, and it's all about how you can integrate Adobe Express and these tools into your courses to enhance creativity, digital literacy, and career readiness. No pressure, Dr. Araya, but really excited about what you have to share with us today. And therefore, with that, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Nick, and hello to everyone that's tuning in from across the nation. My name is Nathan Araya, and it's a pleasure to be with you all here today. Looking forward to this session. Hope you all had an amazing Thanksgiving. If you had the opportunity to spend Thanksgiving with friends and family, I would love to hear kind of what your favorite dish was at Thanksgiving. So if you can drop it in the chat, we'd love to see what was your favorite dish this Thanksgiving. Was it the mac and cheese? Was it the green beans? Was it the actual turkey? Just for some conversations. I see my grandma's Creole dressing. Okay, that's exciting. Aubrey said stuffing. Stuffing is always great. You can't go wrong with good stuffing. Lay, I see you also with the stuffing. So please just drop it in. I'm still in the Thanksgiving vibes. Really just enjoying that and looking forward to the rest of the holidays. But I'm going to go ahead and kick things off for us today. And we're going to dive into our presentation in just a few seconds as we start. Joseph, I see you with the gravy. That's amazing. I see sponge cake with extra applesauce and whipped cream. Now you all making me hungry. I might need to look for some leftovers. Well, once again, thank you all for joining. I'm looking forward to this conversation and the things that we'll be discussing today on this sessions, Adobe Skills sessions. Today we'll be talking about a few key things that can really help enhance teaching and learning in the classroom. And I'll start off with this. So to give an overview of kind of what we'll be discussing, I'll talk a little bit about my own career story from a college professor to a customer success manager at Adobe. Then we'll talk about adapting new digital tools and AI in education. And then we'll transition over to accessing faculty training and resources that we have available to you. And then, of course, we'll talk about a little bit about advancing careers and community through Adobe badging. And something cool that we also have is the Ambassador Program. So let's start right now. So I will go ahead and start with a cool quote from Shantanu, our Adobe CEO. The future belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious. A sentiment that perfectly encapsulates my journey And my name is Nate once again. I am a dreamer who has spent over a decade in higher education as a full-time professor of marketing, an administrator, and a doctoral student, now graduate. So thankful for that this year. This experience has shaped my path to becoming a customer success manager at Adobe, where I leverage my deep understanding of teaching and learning to enhance educational outcomes for educators and students with career skills through innovative tools in a rapidly evolving economy. So fun, interesting quote. So really quick, we'd love to kind of hear your thoughts in the chat. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being very uncomfortable and 5 being very optimistic, how confident do you feel about integrating new digital tools and AI technology or micro-credentials, which is what we're speaking about today, into the academic and operational aspects of your institution? We'd love to kind of get some numbers going. 5, okay. I see 4, I see 4. Okay, 2.5. Okay, great, great. Not extremely low. We're doing well. 4. Okay, great. Thank y'all for sharing. In a recent survey, 86% of higher education leaders reported that integrating digital tools and AI is essential to the future of education. Yet only 40% feel confident about implementing these technologies effectively within their institution. So in hindsight, what we're looking at is the importance of digital transformation in education. Digital tools empower both students and educators by making learning more interactive and accessible. As students engage with new technologies, they become more confident in their ability to navigate a tech-driven world. So a lot of what we do with our Adobe education team is look at ways where we can engage teaching, learning, and student outcomes, focusing on students with building confidence, reading creativity, and boosting critical thinking. So think about the first time you mastered a new tool or app. Remember the sense of accomplishment. Integrating digital tools into the classroom allows students to experience the same aha moment over and over. So what we look to do is to look at ways where we can build confidence with digital tools in a classroom. I know I had a great opportunity to do that as a professor in the classroom. And one thing that I've learned, and I've also been gaining a lot of great insight from our Adobe education team, is looking at ways to look at failure from a fast, fun, informative perspective. So in my experience, failure is a concept that seems to grow more challenging to grasp as we get older. As children, we embrace something I like to call courageous curiosity, which is something we've talked about here at Adobe. And at a young age, we're not only intrigued by the unknown, but also unafraid to engage with it, to try new things, just to see what happens. A child who builds with blocks doesn't hesitate to knock them down and rebuild in various ways. So there's no fear of failure and just an eagerness to discover, learn, and play. But what we're looking at is the idea of fast failure means trying different approaches until you find what works. For example, a student might experience or experiment with Adobe Express or Firefly, creating media projects and tweaking them along the way. It's about learning through doing, not worrying about perfection. So fun failure is the idea. We've all had those moments when a lesson or project doesn't go as planned, and that's a good thing, right? Sharing, my own tech mishaps shows students that mistakes are part of the learning journey, not something to fear. Informative failure asks students to analyze why something didn't work and how they can improve. The reflection helps them develop critical thinking skills and resilience. And so forth. And I had the opportunity to do that with different micro-credentialing integrations at my university, leading pilot programs with Meta and Google some years ago. Creativity isn't also just for artists. With AI-powered tools, even the most data-driven students can find new ways to express ideas, whether it's through visual stunning presentations or unique digital content. I want to share a story that demonstrates the power of digital tools in unlocking creativity. When students are given the tools and encouragement to present their work in new ways, they're not just completing coursework, but they're looking at ways to prepare for their future careers, encouraging students to think of their classwork as portfolio pieces that can boost creativity and set them up for success in the job market. And this is a story of Valentina, an individual that was a student of one of my colleagues, Dr. Todd Taylor, that had the opportunity to really connect a lot of her coursework to learning opportunities and building her own portfolio to stand out in the career job market. So by Valentina compiling her coursework into a professional portfolio, she was able to demonstrate her creativity and digital literacy to future employers. What started as classwork became a fully fledged professional portfolio when it came to apply for jobs. So Valentina didn't just submit a resume, but she also looked at ways to present a body of work that clearly showed her creativity, adaptability, and technical skills. And also one thing I would love to add is the idea of critical thinking, how important it is to evaluate data and analyze trends through not just absorbing information, but also questioning it, thinking critically about its relevance and validity. One educator shared a story about a student who consistently struggled with complex data analysis, often feeling frustrated and defeated. The turning point came when the instructor introduced an AI tool designed to break down intricate concepts step by step with this tool. The student was able to approach the material in a more manageable way, gradually building confidence. And by the end of the course, the student mastered the assignment and also developed a newfound appreciation for problem solving. And this experience highlighted with AI, digital tools, micro-credentialing integrations, when used as a learning assistant rather than replacement, can empower students to overcome challenges, unlock their potential, and look at ways to leverage themselves within today's job market. Now, I wanted to kind of share a little bit about Adobe Express before we talk about a little bit of the cool functions of digital skills and tools that we offer. As you look at Adobe Express, there's some great opportunities and features that we have available. We'd love for you all to kind of take a chance to look at that whenever you have the opportunity. If you go to express.adobe.com, you can find more information and look at the platform where you can be able to develop fun presentations. You can develop content and things of that nature. So feel free to look at that whenever you get a chance. It's an all-in-one content creation app that takes all of the superpowers from all of our different apps that we have with Photoshop, Premiere, and so forth, and it encapsulates it into an easy-to-use platform for you to use. So this is something we've seen professors, staff, students use and really make great things come to life. Another cool feature that we have is something called Animate from Audio, where I've seen professors use this in their own classroom, where they're able to have an animation perspective that kind of like talks a little bit about maybe certain assignments that they would have integrated into Blackboard or Canvas. So it's a cool thing where you can be able to speak into that, and you can have an animated character actually speak on your behalf. So there's lots of cool creative ways that you can enhance teaching, learning, and engagement in a classroom. Some great resources that we do have that I wanted also to highlight is we have some great webinars like this digital skills course. We have some self-paced courses that are available. We have accredited PD courses, Adobe Education Institute that runs over the summer that we would love for you all to join. And then we also have an AEI in a box, which is our Adobe Education Institute resources that provides a turnkey model for professional development for you all here today. So that's something that I think will be very useful for you all to use, and I'll definitely share more resources in the links within the chat pretty soon. A fun story of Dr. Etta C. Gravely, Associate Professor of Chemistry at North Carolina A&T, attended 8 sessions at our Adobe Education Institute, and she mentioned that learning is a lifelong journey without age limits, where each new tool is a step toward unlocking endless possibilities in teaching and education. I wanted to mention that this amazing professor, was leaning into learning new tools and really enhancing her teaching and learning by constantly learning and improving her own learning as a professor with hopes to do that for students. Now, I wanted to highlight a little bit about our Adobe badges and credentialing. This is such a cool opportunity to really integrate, and I found an easy way for all of us to do this together. So the Adobe Creative Skills series offers self-paced 1 to 2 hour courses in essential skills like creating generative AI, delivering stunning presentations. Students can earn official Adobe credibly badges shareable on LinkedIn and resumes to boost employability. And many institutions that I've seen and I've worked with integrate these courses into curricula and beyond to equip students with career-ready skills. So some of these core goals that we have within these Adobe badging credentialing courses are focusing on moving students from not just being consumers of information and digital tools, but also their own creators of their own ideas. So that's something that's important. How do we move from consumption to creation? It also provides an opportunity for students to develop transferable skills that are connected directly into the job market demands of today. So these micro-credentialing courses really do help enhance the learning in the classroom and really provide a great addition to the diploma that they'll be receiving from your respective institutions, as well as enforcing the relevance of course content from day one through career branding portfolios. So if you get a chance, I'll actually submit some resources now in the chat. I have submitted the link directly to our digital badging courses. You also have a link to a template that I designed to add this as extra credit in your courses. And I've seen this as a low lift, high value opportunity. Let's say if you wanted to add this as extra credit points for your courses. This is a very easy plug and play for each of you to add career-ready micro-credentialing courses into your classroom. If you wanted to highlight an AI micro-credentialing course, that's something that we do offer. We also have these professional portfolio courses where students are able to develop highly engaging resumes, LinkedIn banners, different things of that nature to highlight their career visibility on the digital platform. So take a look at these resources when you get a chance. I also added the slide deck from today's presentation to highlight what we're doing today. I also want to share some cool quick stories at the very end of this presentation that highlights the power of our tools. This is the Adobe Student Ambassador Program, and I had the opportunity to work with San Jose State University. I think it was about 3 years ago when I first started at Adobe. One opportunity that I had was to really help enhance digital learning on that campus. So we helped develop an Adobe Student Ambassador Club where we initiated a kickoff party where students were able to get some great gear from Adobe, engage in an Adobe Express, and they also had the opportunity to develop their own pins and things of that nature. So they got a chance to create something on Adobe Express. We had a pin maker that was mailed to them, and they got a chance to develop their own different real life items. So the goal was, how do we provide a low lift, high value opportunity for students to engage with digital tools and see them in IRL, in real life. And that allows them to develop some sort of digital confidence where they were able to kind of take that and run with developing their own high profile creative resumes, LinkedIn banners, and professional development tools and content. So think of creative ways to integrate a lot of these digital tools in a fun way. We do this through our ambassador program, developing Adobe clubs, and so forth. So if your campus doesn't have that, would encourage you to look at ways to start an Adobe club or learn more about our ambassador program. Just as new ways you can integrate digital tools and creativity and fun in your classes and on your campus. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you all learned a little bit about ways that we can really add some great value to the work that you're doing on campus through our digital skills course that we have with badging, and also with our different programs that we offer to our creative campus programs. But thank you all for the time and the opportunity to present, and want to wish you all an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Araya. Here we'll open it up to any questions that you all may have regarding our digital micro-credentials, our student ambassador program for the group. Be good for the group. While we wait for some questions to pop in, I do have a question for you, Dr. Araya. Have you taken any of the Digital Academy courses yet? And if so, which ones do you feel like people should probably, if they're new to this, either for themselves or if they want to turnkey this for their students, would be like the best place to start?
Yeah, I think what I'm seeing a lot with, touring and being with and meeting with different faculty and staff is the idea of um, career visibility and career readiness. I think that's going to be huge going on into the next year as well. Students want to be able to know that what they are learning connects directly to today's job market. So one of the micro-credentialing courses that I had the opportunity to take was the Job Applications Essentials. I've also been able to kind of help a lot of faculty career centers integrate this into their LMS platforms and programming. So what the Job Application Essentials course does, it allows students to really just engage in a very practical way to take 1 to 2 hour course to develop some creative visuals that really do help them in today's job market. So they'll, as Nick is showing on the screen, you can be able to develop as mentioned, high profile resumes or LinkedIn banners, help you tell your own creative personal story, interview strategies. So I think this is a very great thing that you can be able to implement within maybe any sort of introductory course. Where students can be able to really start thinking creatively and critically about ways to connect their learning to today's job market. Think about ways you can add this as extra credit, where students can be able to submit the link of their completion or their badge into LMS platforms. But this was a very low lift, high value, easy course with opportunities for me to look at ways to enhance career visibility. So that would be
Yeah.
a good introductory course. And then we also have an intro to generative
I
AI.
will co-sign on that too. As you can see, you can also check your progress. My little green checks say that I've also taken this course. So I didn't pay you to say this, but yes, I recommend the Job Essentials one too as a place to get started. The headshots one was really, really cool. Just even talked about, I know you're going to mention another one, but just even your headshot and what that means. Like there's a whole series on like the power of thirds and backgrounds. And what's really cool about this is that again, it really all links back to how you can do these in Adobe Express as well. You mentioned another one, Dr. Araya, and then there is a question in the chat I want to circle back to as well.
Yeah. There's another one. There's a generative AI course that I think is really essential, to really help students start exploring and playing around with responsible AI. And so that could be a great introductory micro-credentialing extra credit assignment if you want students to kind of look at ways to kind of just dabble and learn some basic principles on that. So I found that to be very useful as well. Yeah.
Okay. Some questions in the chat. So let me stop sharing really quickly. How is Adobe connecting with industry in order to create courses related to the job market?
Yeah, so we have a great team of people that work on our Adobe education team that do some great research and connect with many different companies and have got some great data in ways that we can really build courses backwards. And that's something that I really have enjoyed kind of learning throughout this process as I've been implementing a lot of these micro-credentialing courses. They are really connected to the research that's happening in the job market, and we've definitely collaborated with various amounts of people, faculty, people within the job market to really develop these courses that we feel are the greatest hits of education today that can really give students leverage within the job market. So this is
And
something
we
that's
partnered with our credential team. I know you just did an event with a university institution, and you had some folks from our credential certification team. So we partnered with like Coursera as a platform, Certiport as another platform. So we're definitely making sure that our content is not only like up to industry standard, but we're also partnered with industry partners that do the credentialing. So there, we have to make sure that the content does match also that industry standard because of those basic partnerships. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, Nick.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Another question we got is these courses provided for free? If they decided not to take the course, are there any tutorial videos for students so that they can still use the tool in the class, in their classroom settings?
Yeah, you can definitely access the tools for free. So really, you can definitely take advantage of that. There are certain premium options that we have within Adobe Express that you all have exclusive access to as a creative campus. So I would definitely encourage you to take advantage of the
Yeah.
entire access that you have for this.
And I'm going to share my screen really quickly to that question. Um, there's also embedded tutorials. And so if I just share my screen right now with Adobe Express, so let's say I feel like I need to redeem myself. The last time we had a little outage, explainer videos. So I'm gonna, sorry, Dr. Arai, I'm gonna like have a moment where I get to redeem myself.
No
So here
worries.
you can see templates, and let's say I wanted to remix this template right here. So let's customize this template. And there should be, so obviously there's some TikTok stuff, but then here to the far right column, you can see that there's a learn opportunity here. So within this template, I can learn some kind of, I don't want to say quick tips and tricks, but definitely kind of walking you through how I could remix this template and still kind of get to the task at hand with some support. So I hope that answers your question. Outside of micro-credentialing, we definitely do have in-platform tutorials and support. Okay, another questions. We also got mention of Behance, which is another place where there's another number of jobs posted there, or even project work for if students want to be a part of that. Yeah. So I think those are our big questions here for today. Just another round of applause for Dr. Araya. Any kind of parting words before we wrap up our session for today?
Just want to thank you all for joining. I think this is the first step of enhancing teaching and learning when we can step into spaces like this and learn for ourselves. And so I want to send kudos to all of you for being here today. And please stay in touch with us throughout the process. We are partnering with you throughout this year and have so many great things that we can be able to do together. So thank you all for joining.
Awesome. And thank you again, Dr. Araya, for everything that you shared. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, this is our last session for this semester. We will be back in January with another host of workshops and opportunities. So please stay tuned for that. I dropped in the link again for all of our newsletters. Shout out to the folks who signed up actually during this session. Lee, I believe you said you just signed up, so hopefully we had more people sign up for that. Also, all of our recordings are on our YouTube playlist. And then, as I mentioned again, please sign up for that newsletter. It will be the place where you will find the latest and greatest for our upcoming sessions for the winter and spring sessions. On that note, thank you all again. Have a wonderful rest of your day and happy December. See you all in the new year. Bye.